Okay.
Mrs. Parker knows a Romanian grocer by the name of Popescu Rosenfeld, who has just come from Constantinople. He's a great specialist in yogurt. He has a diploma from the School of Yogurt Making in Adrianople. Tomorrow I shall buy a large pot of native Romanian yogurt from him. One doesn't often find such things here in the suburbs of London. Yogurt is excellent for the stomach, the kidneys, the appendicitis, and the apotheosis. It was Dr. Mackenzie King who told me that. He's the one who takes care of the children of our neighbors, the Johns. He's a good doctor. One can trust him. He never prescribes any medicine that he has not tried out on himself first. Before operating on Parker, he did his own liver operation first, although he was not the least bit ill.
How does it happen that the doctor pulled through while Parker died?
Because the operation was successful in the doctor's case and it was not in Parker's.
The Mackenzie is not a good doctor. The operation should have succeeded with both of them, or else they both should have died.
Why?
A conscientious doctor must die with his patient if they can't get well together. The captain of a ship goes down with his ship into the briny deep. He does not survive alone.
One cannot compare a patient with a ship.
Why not? A ship has its diseases too. Moreover, your doctor is as hell as a ship. That's why we should have perished at the same time as his patient. Like the captain in a ship.
Ah, I had not thought of that. Perhaps it is true. And then what conclusion do you draw from this?
All doctors are quacks, and all patients too. Only the Royal Navy is honest in England.
But not sailors.
Naturally. Now here's the thing I don't understand. In the newspaper, they always give the age of the deceased persons, but never the age of the newly born. Doesn't make sense.
I never thought of that.
Tisk, it says here that Bobby Watson died.
My God, the poor man, when did he die?
Why do you pretend to be so astonished? You know very well that he's been dead these past 2 years. Surely, you remember that we attended his funeral a year and a half ago.
Oh yes, of course, I do remember. I remembered it right away. But I don't understand why you yourself were so surprised to see it in the paper.
It wasn't in the paper. It's been there 3 years since his death was announced. I remember it through an association of ideas.
What a pity, he was so well deserved.
He was the handsomest corpse in Great Britain. He didn't look his age, poor Bobby. He's been dead for 4 years and he's still warm. A veritable living corpse. And how cheerful he was.
Poor Bobby.
Which poor Bobby do you mean?
It is his wife that I mean. She is called Bobby too, Bobby Watson. Since they both had the same name, you could never tell one from the other when you saw them together. It was only after his death that you could really tell which was which. And there are still people today who confuse her with the deceased and offer their condolences to them. Do you know her?
I've only met her once, by chance, at Bobby's burial.
I've never seen her. Is she pretty?
She has regular features, and yet one cannot say that she is pretty. She is too big and stout. Her features are not regular, but still one can say that she is very pretty. She's a little too small and too thin. She's a voice teacher.
And when do they plan to be married, those two?
Next spring at the latest.
We shall have to go to their wedding, I suppose.
We shall have to give them a wedding present. I wonder what.
Why don't we give them one of those 7 silver salvers that were given to us for our wedding, and which have never been of any use to us? How sad for her to be left a widow so young.
Fortunately, they had no children.
That was all they needed, children. Poor woman, how could she have managed?
She's still young. She might very well remarry. She looks so well in the morning.
But who would take care of her children? You know very well that they have a boy and a girl. What are their names?
Bobby and Bobby, like their parents. Bobby Watson's uncle, old Bobby Watson, is a rich man and very fond of the boy. He might very well pay for Bobby's education.
That would be proper. And Bobby Watson's aunt, or Bobby Watson, might very well, in her turn, pay for the education of Bobby Watson, Bobby Watson's daughter. That way Bobby Watson's mother, could remarry. Has she anyone in mind?
Yes, a cousin of Bobby Watson's.
Who's Bobby Watson?
Which Bobby Watson do you mean?
Why, Bobby Watson, the son of old Bobby Watson, the late Bobby Watson's other uncle.
No, it's not that one. It's someone else. It's Bobby Watson, the son of old Bobby Watson, the late Bobby Watson's aunt.
Are you referring to Bobby Watson, the commercial traveller?
All the Bobby Watsons are commercial travellers.
What a difficult trade! However, they do well at it.
Yes, when there's no competition.
And when is there no competition?
On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Tuesdays.
Ah, 3 days a week. And what does Bobby Watson do on those days?
He rests. He sleeps.
But why doesn't he work on those 3 days if there's no competition?
I don't know everything. I can't answer all your idiotic questions.
Are you trying to humiliate me?
You know very well that I am not.
Men are all alike. You sit there all day long, a cigarette in your mouth, or you powder your nose and rouge your lips 50 times a day, or else you drink like a fish.
But what would you say if you saw men acting like women do? Smoking all day long, powdering, rouging their lips, drinking whiskey?
It's nothing to me. But if you're only saying that to annoy me, I don't care for that kind of joking. You know that very well.
Oh, my little ducky daddles. What a little spitfire you are. You know that I only said it as a joke. What a ridiculous pair of low lovers we are. Come, let's put the lights out and go bye-byes.